Get ready to laugh and learn how to engage your community, your audience, and we have a special guest. Her name's Andrea Boring with Twins Happen. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Small Businesses Do It Better, where we highlight small business owners, showing all of you all their fun, their work, and everything in between. This show is brought to you by Ovaleye, where we empower your home office lifestyle through web hosting, cloud services, and domain names. Visit ovaleye.com to work with us today. And audible.com. Get your free Audible book download at www.audibletrial.com/Ovaleye. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Hello, I'm Kathy. I'm the Chief Decision Maker at Ovaleye.com.
And I'm Carissa, the Community Relations Manager.
And welcome. Tonight is going to be a great night. It's actually going to be a hilarious night because if you've read any of Andrea's blogs, you're going to laugh your head off with, actually I'm putting pressure on her. I'm sorry, Andrea, that you're listening. But the graphic up here right now, it's just the cutest blog. I sat up last night reading just tons, and there are some favorites of mine, and I think we have one of them on here that we'll be talking to her tonight. So it's going to be fun, but Chris has a couple of things to talk about, and then we'll talk to Andrea.
Yes, this infographic, it's kind of an infographic. It's dominating Pinterest in the past couple days.
It's up on the back.
It's all over the place. We have it to show you on your screen as well, but it's about home-based businesses in America. And a couple stats, there's 38 million in the United States, 70% succeed within 3 years. 44% started with less than $5,000, which is not that much money. And 20% make 100 to 500,000 a year. And the stat that I liked, if you can see on the map, 70% of Americans would prefer to be self-employed.
Well, I would think so. Traffic. I mean, you could name a million things that, except for the money, that you wouldn't want to go in and work.
It's a cool infographic,
else.
though. I really liked it.
When they say how much, 5,000 or less for starting?
44% of home-based businesses are started for under $5,000.
Well, there's a book on our bookshelf right now, The $100 Startup. Read it. It's $100 to start a business. Let's see, what's the other one?
And then this is very exciting. We are announcing this. If you get our newsletter, you already know this. But we're announcing this.
Sent a newsletter.
We have our Back to Business Building Summit 2012. It is September 26th through 28th. It's an online conference hosted by Ovaleye. And we are now accepting applicants for speakers at the conference. It's a web conference. It's online, utilizing Ovaleye's web conferencing rooms.
And there could be up to 100 people showing up to these.
So if you go to b2bbsummit.com, which is Back to Business Building Summit, if you look in the top corner, there's an apply to present.
Yes. Actually, we're going to suggest that Andrea be a part of this.
So if you want to be a speaker, go ahead and go click Apply to Present, and you can
at the top right
submit your name, your website, the topic you wish to present on, and describe a little bit about the topic. And Jen wanted me to mention this part. We're looking for experts in all fields such as retail, e-commerce, blogging, marketing, offline marketing, accounting, legal, human resources. So if you're an expert in any of these or in your own field, then go to b2bbsummit.com and apply to present.
It is September 26th through the 28th. Of course, Jen booked it on my birthday, so thank you very much, Jen. And the domain name for this, too, if you want to look at check it out, is b2bbsummit.com. check that out. But we'll have it on ovaleye.tv tomorrow too. Okay.
That's fun. Exciting.
Do you have anything?
Go there when we're done, Andrea.
No, you're already signed up, let me tell you. So, without further ado, let's get Andrea on and talk to her about having twins and everything else she can possibly think about. Hello, and so nice to see you on our show tonight. You are from Arizona. Tell me again, Mesa?
Yep, Mesa, Arizona. It's a suburb of Phoenix.
Okay, so it was like 70 here maybe, and how hot was it again there?
Oh, today was just a balmy 101. It didn't get too terribly hot at all.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like last week where we were in the 115s.
Oh my gosh. Maybe
that's a little warm.
Yeah, maybe you should come and visit Washington. It's very cool here.
Oh, I would be in heaven, I'm sure. Maybe a summer house is in my future.
I'll go down there during summer and you come up here.
Okay, that sounds great. We'll do a little trade.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how this happened, this oh, it is. I say happen. How did this happen? But it's twins-happen.com.
Yeah. It was last fall, and I sat down at my computer, and, my Facebook updates had been getting progressively longer and longer. And just with stories about what the boys were up to and just their antics and the things that they do to make me crazy. And they were getting longer and longer, and, I'm like, well, maybe I should try to write these stories down and see what happens. And one night I sat down and I wrote probably 5 separate little articles or, antidotes, if you will. And, I'd been blogging I'd been reading blogs since they were born in 2008. They were born 12 weeks premature. And during the time in the hospital and when they got home and were sleeping all the time, I read blog after blog after blog after blog. And I was always just enamored with, I guess I was a little bit of a stalker. I never commented or anything. I just read. Your friendly neighborhood, blog stalker here. And I just was totally interested in the lives of everyone else and trying to find people who were in similar circumstances to us and try to find ways to relate and to really help me cope with their early births. And then, last year when I started writing these things, I said, I should probably just go ahead and maybe try to start a blog. And so I did. I started a free one on Blogspot, and it was easy. It was fun. I mean, I was nervous the first time that I hit the publish button, as I'm sure most people are, and then I did that for probably 5 months, and then in March is when I was trying to find different designs to kind of make the blog more me, and I just couldn't find anything on Blogspot that I really enjoyed, and I contacted an old friend of mine, Abby Fatika, who you ladies know.
Hello, Abby.
Hi, Abby. I think she's watching or listening, and she recommended that I contact Ovaleye, and that was the end of it. I switched over to WordPress. I hired myself a little blog designer. I definitely did not do that myself.
So cute. It's really cute.
That was done by Ro at Mommy Blog Designs.
Really?
Although the more I'm learning, the more I'm like, maybe I could do this someday. Who knows?
I wouldn't put it past you. You're full of energy. We get emails at different times of the morning, night, every time. You don't sleep much.
Not much at all. Not much at all. It's I'm doing something I love for the first time in my entire adult life, and it's very, very, very rewarding. Even though it's not paying me anything yet, it's still very rewarding, and I enjoy it. And it's the first time that I'm able to stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning and look at the clock on my computer and say, oh my goodness, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I really should probably go to sleep, because the kids are early birds. They're up by 5:45 or 6 o'clock every
Oh
night.
my. But I wanted to tell you that your passion is showing through with your blog, but also you have a great community. Abby started a great community too. I mean, we follow a lot of her followers and her community. And then also when you find that voice, you get this big, you already have this, and you haven't been doing it that long.
No, you're right. I mean, I've developed a great community on Facebook with fellow bloggers, and you make these connections online that you really don't think is ever possible. And my husband still laughs at me. He doesn't really believe in it, but they usually don't. And it's a community, true. And I mean, just in the past week, I mean, the community has really stepped up for me and for a cause that I've been trying to promote, and a fundraising effort I've been doing for a family out of Cincinnati. And the amount of support is truly amazing. And the community, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's a community, and it's a community of people. It just happens that we all live in a computer.
Yes, we will be talking about that cause towards the end. We're very impressed with the outpouring. Actually, one of my favorite, well, we're going to start talking, but the last blog I read was the one where your sons turned 4, I think it was, and you talked about that sweet, it was just a really nice reminiscing of how your kids were born and what you went through and the feelings you had. It's like, oh my goodness, you just poured it out and you didn't leave anything behind, and I like that about your blogs.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you were talking about the process of the transition of starting with Blogspot and then going to your own hosting. What made you ultimately decide to just jump right in and just start blogging?
This is a good question for a lot of people that have called me too about this. So go ahead and answer this.
Just with all of the research that I did online, and with the endless possibilities that a WordPress platform offers, and that your own domain name, and that the customer service of Ovaleye. I mean, I could never have done this without you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's everything's so much easier. It's more tailored towards search engine optimization. It's more tailored towards user friendliness, in my opinion. And it's something that when I was considering what I wanted to do and what I still, at that time when I moved forward, I remember Jen talking to me about branding and more business opportunities. And I remember talking to her and I said, no, I'm just going to blog. That's all I'm going to do. Nothing else. And, she's like, well, you never know, Andrea, you never know what might happen. And with the twins happen, I mean, it's something that the WordPress options, the plugins, having your own domain name, it's just something that's so important when you're developing a name for yourself and a name for your brand, I think.
Well, and Jen is my daughter and my partner in crime here at Ovaleye. So when she talks to mommy bloggers, especially people that want to have a brand out there too, I think it's important. She's done that too. Well, not so much the blogging as much as the mommy blogging as much as you have, of course. But I think it is important that you create that brand, and the plans that you have, you are definitely creating this amazing brand online that will catch lots of attention.
Oh, thank you. I hope so.
Yes.
I certainly hope so. I've got to somehow convince my husband that this isn't just a hobby.
We'll have him watch this tonight, okay?
I will.
This is kind of a question based on not just a hobby, but on your website, I see you have several ads in addition to Ovaleye's. So I want to know what you think about the pros, the cons, about all these ads, and if they're worth it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, to be honest, I haven't made a dime yet. It's very kind of sad on any of the ads, but I was very, when I go to other blogs and other popular blogs that I really like, I see those things, and I only put things on there that I like, that I've used, and that I find visually appealing. It's not something that goes off the complete, look of my blog. And in the future, I think that, hopefully it would eventually bring in a little teeny tiny paycheck. That would be, again, help with the whole hobby thing. But
well, is that an affiliate program that you've joined for all of these, or?
Yeah, because you have several.
Because you can actually, I think you could probably go to some of the ones that you really enjoy and start, especially if you pick up lots of traffic. I think you'll be able to leverage that, no problem.
I think that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you continue.
I was wondering, do you go to each website separately and join affiliate programs, or do you go to a program like Commission Junction or something like that?
The ones that are on there right now, I believe, are individual ones. I have joined Linkshare, and I think I have one Linkshare one on there that I've done.
Yes, you
Linkshare is amazing because there's so many options to choose from, and from Nordstrom's to Macy's to oh my goodness, almost every name brand you could probably think of. It seems, that they're there. And what I like too is that the different, I think I have a giggle one at the bottom, for so long. And I remember this when I was pregnant with the boys, registering for baby stuff. And I would only go to Babies R Us, and I would only go to, Target or Bye Bye Baby, the big box stores. And it's so nice online now. It's been 4 years, and I'm sure these places existed 4 years ago, but they're not nearly as prominent then as they are now. It's nice for people to be able to have that option. And so that's kind of, again, why I pick the ones that I do, because, I think about what I would have liked 4 years ago, or what I, currently enjoy, or what things that I think are neat.
Yeah, 4 years goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It goes by so fast. I can't believe it.
And I want to point this out, too. On the bottom of your site, it has Grab My Buttons, which where you can get her logo or her buttons for her website. Too. And I love it when people do this, because you really want to share who you like on your own blog. Like I have it on my website. And I think the blog roll is so just easily to look past, and it's so like impersonal, and it doesn't show the brand. So I love it when websites with such a good community and they're well branded have these buttons where you can just copy the code and paste them on your website. You can make it really easy.
Thank you. I mean, I love the buttons too. And, it's something I'm actually teaching myself how to do, a little code action. Of course, a funny story, I was fooling around about a month ago with my sidebar, and I screwed something up. I don't know what I did. And none of my things from the Facebook down were showing up. And I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? What did I do? What did I do? And I played with it probably for about 4 hours trying to get it back. And my blog designer, I think, was out of town. And so I actually called Abby Fatika, and emailed her. I was like, can you help me, please? And she was able to figure out what the problem was. Yeah, she would be good. But after that, is when I kind of decided, I was like, all right, it's time to do a little research and try to figure this out, so that if something like this happens again, I'm not kind of floundering around.
Good idea. Yes.
Okay, so this is really funny. I was literally rolling, my stomach hurt from laughter on this blog post. 11 things I never thought I would do as a parent. Okay, so when you're reading this, don't drink anything, because it will come out. This is really hilarious. And you also have another one called Losing My Dignity. Also hilarious. I won't even mention it, but it is so funny. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And she uses her words. She uses like one-word sentences to really make them stand.
Okay, so why don't you read that first one, Carissa?
This is the one that I was thinking about. Okay, so 11 things I never thought I would do. Number 1, help my son pee standing up at the park on a tree.
Yes.
But when a 3-year-old has to go, he has to go. Note, only select parks with restrooms. Lesson learned. So,
that is true.
What fuels you to write these type of posts? Do you have are you just going to write whatever happens, you don't care? I mean, it's funnier. It's better to read them when they're like this, when they have your personality in them.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you. When I write, I have very little censorship in what I write. And, when I launched this thing and I told my husband, and I run, by the way, just for the record, he does read all of the posts, especially the ones that I mention him or sex. He does.
There were a couple there, yes.
Yeah, he does read them first, just to, okay, and he's never once been like, ooh, no way, don't do that. And, my family too, my dad reads this, and we have family everywhere. But, yeah,
your parents have been in the blogs.
Yes, they have, and they're such a support system that I have to give them as many props as I can, as often as I can.
Yes.
But I write and you'll see. I mean, every writer goes through this. It's your ebbs and your flows of what you've been doing. For the past couple months, we've had some trying times around here, so my blogs have been more serious. But for a few months at a time, I wrote some of the. I mean, I still read them, and I still am like, really? I can't believe I actually wrote that. It's not Pulitzer quality writing by any means, but it does make people smile, and that's what I want with my blog. I want people to read that and be like, holy cow, that happened to me. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
You didn't mention at the beginning if you had any experience with writing. I don't think. Did you have experience?
Well, I have a lot of schooling that I don't use. I have a bachelor's of science in criminal justice, and I also have a law degree.
I read that.
And but I don't practice. It was never in the cards. I was never all that passionate about the law. To be honest, I mean, it was something that when I graduated from college with a degree in criminal justice, it was like, what do you do now? You're 22 years old. What are your options? So I chose to go to law school, and I'll never regret that experience. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about writing. I learned a lot about people. So that's where I learned how to write. I say law school did teach me the law, but primarily it taught me how to write.
Well, hopefully as you grow, hopefully as you grow your business, something will come up for.
Yeah, I'm sure it helped your disclosure page on your website, which is very important for bloggers.
I looked at right away.
There was another one, the Walmart one, and that one actually got you some press or some news.
Yes, it did. I'm actually, Mamapedia is going to be featuring that article tomorrow, which was a complete and total shock when I got the email last week. And then a small magazine called the Chelsea Foundation featured it yesterday. So yes, and that was one that I got home from Walmart, I put the kids to bed, and I just sat down to write. And I didn't even really, I look back on it now and I'm like, oh gosh, I really should have edited that better. It's one of the ones that, there's some spots there that I'm a little, but it's me. It's real.
That's what makes it special, though, because it's raw right after you did that. And every mother would probably do the same thing if they had a voice.
Yeah. And it was very surprising. I mean, I've gotten a lot of, good comments and bad comments, and it was actually very eye-opening, and it was very, troubling too to see a lot of people who have experienced a great deal of hostility when they've reached out to try to help other mothers.
Yes.
So that's
sad.
It is sad. So, but hopefully this will help create the message that if we're going to survive as a society, we got to have each other's backs. That's the only way.
Definitely the women do too. Yes, I agree.
So Andrea, you're on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure many others. How do you use each network differently for marketing a blog?
Facebook is all about, for me anyway, I started off with Facebook, and I didn't start at the beginning. I wish I would have, but I didn't actually start my Facebook page until end of February, I think.
Really?
Yeah, and it's all about, it's just building community. It's going to different pages, reaching out to people with like mind, like attitude, and saying hi and making friends just like you would. It's easier than if you're at a play date in the park, with adult women. We all know how that works. But when you're, it's easier to reach out online and just say, hey, how's it going? And then, you just continue that line of communication. And there are some women on there that are absolutely amazing at it. I'm okay. I could definitely do better. But it's about responding too. It's about responding to the comments, whether if it's just clicking the like
engaging,
button.
Yeah, you want to engage.
Absolutely. And it's been my biggest tool so far as marketing and sharing my blog. And it makes it easy, to hit the share button and for people to, if they like it, to be able to spread the word and share it with their friends. And then Twitter is relatively new to me. I really just started actively engaging in Twitter probably 2 or 3, maybe 2 months ago. And I'm still learning. I've got Facebook pretty well mastered, but Twitter's still.
I agree with that.
I'll have some days where I will, I'll get on Hootsuite, which is a scheduling platform you can use for Twitter and Facebook, and I'll schedule out tweets, which I really enjoy. And I like how Twitter is a constant stream of information as well, because it's not it's a community too, but it's not as community oriented as Facebook, in my opinion. It's all what you make of it, I guess, and how you use it.
Actually, I think it can be a big community forum for you. It has turned out to be that way for Ovaleye, and you might at the beginning, how long have you been doing Twitter?
Maybe 3 months.
Well, yeah, you're still, you will get really good responses. And especially if you use your colorful language and you do it less than 140 characters, you'll get a lot of notice.
Yeah, shout out to Hootsuite too. That's all I use. And I actually got a comment today from a guy that works at Hootsuite, so that's kind of funny you mentioned them.
Excellent. Yeah, it's very handy. And then Pinterest is to be honest, I'm new at that too, and it's I haven't really utilized it too terribly much with blogging. I've got like a couple boards related to blogging on it. I think like blogging resources, and maybe online business or something. I can't really recall off the top of my head, but just to share what I find, just like everybody else does on Pinterest. But it's such a time sucker that
yeah, you have to
what do
choose
you
wisely.
Mean? Yeah. If I get on there, it's like, before I know it, it's even worse, and I haven't got any work done, and I've just been pinning.
Pin.
And I don't know what I pinned. I'm just like, click, 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 click. And so that one is one that I think as time goes, I'll probably begin to master. But I'm kind of a little slow when it comes to that, because I like to do kind of one thing at a time and really kind of master and get a hang.
Yes.
Get a hang of how that works and learn, Twitter hashtags, however that works. I'm still working on that. But, and LinkedIn, I just joined finally. So I haven't even, all I know is I keep getting emails that say, you are connected with Carissa,
Yeah.
or
the minute you start that, I would focus on Twitter for you.
Yeah.
I think Twitter will be good for you.
Big for bloggers.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something that's very serious that I was on your homepage. It still is at the bottom, called From One Mother to Another.
Yes.
And this is about Danny's story. If you want to share what you wish to share about this story and what you're doing to help and how others can help also.
Sure. Danny, I went to law school, as I mentioned, at University of Dayton in Ohio, and I attended with a young lady named Kelly O'Keefe. And last year, I remember reading a news story from Cincinnati about Kelly being attacked in her home by an intruder who turned out to be an ex-boyfriend. And he stabbed Kelly and beat her, and her brother came to her aid. They lived together at the time. Her brother lived with her. And in the process, he was stabbed 19 times in the head and suffered horrible injuries, tendon severing injuries in his arms, a lacerated spleen, etc. Kelly is an assistant county prosecutor. They both survived the attack. But because of the high-profile nature of the case in Cincinnati, it really, the family just wanted to stay out of the press. They declined interviews. They just really stayed out of the public eye because it wasn't a good time for them. I automatically assumed when I saw Kelly pop back up on Facebook and go back to work, I assumed that everything was fine with the family, and that Danny had recovered as well, and Kelly was obviously back to work. And then about a week and a half ago, I think it was July 6th, I read a letter on a Facebook page for Danny O'Keefe, and it was from Danny's mom, Kathy. I'm sorry. And she basically said that she was breaking her silence after more than a year to beg for help. Danny's injuries were very severe. He suffers from aphasia, which essentially leaves him unable to speak, read, or write. And this is devastating to someone who was an attorney previously. He is physically, he's getting better. He can walk. He walks 2 miles a night. He does have insurance. He has Anthem health insurance, and he also has Medicaid. His family was able to get him supplemental insurance, but they only pay for 30 therapies per year. Mercy Hospital in Fairfield has also donated some free sessions of therapy, but they're just, the money ran out, and the window on his recovery is diminishing. It's been over a year. And, the windows generally for these types of injuries is 18 months. You need to get in for those kind of injuries pretty quickly. So I read this letter, and it said to go to Fifth Third Bank in Cincinnati and donate. And I said, well, I don't live in Cincinnati. And so I called, but of course they were closed because there's a 3-hour time difference. And I'm like, well, how can I donate? And I was like, well, I wonder why they don't have a PayPal account. I was like, I wonder, that's kind of odd. So I actually Facebook messaged Kelly and I said, I would like to, I was just wondering if you guys had a PayPal account set up so I could donate. What's going on? And she's like, no, we don't have a PayPal account. My parents, this is a little overwhelming for them. I said, I understand. She's like, not pretty much ended the conversation. I was like, you know what? They should probably have a website. And I was like, that would probably get the word out. And so I messaged Kelly again. Poor girl was bummed. When I get an idea, I just don't stop. It kind of goes along with everything else. I just go, go, go. And so I messaged her again. I think it was like 3 times in 4 hours. And I said, well, would your parents be interested in if I were to set up a website for them and a PayPal account? And she said, well, I'll give my mom this message. And, she's trying to stay, she's a private person. She's still suffering, et cetera. And I was like, no, I completely understand. So Kathy messaged me with her phone number, and literally within seconds I called her back. And she said that the bank had encouraged them not to get a PayPal account because of the fees associated with this. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I said, it's 2.9% for credit card fees. And if somebody sends an e-check, then it's free. And she said, well, she was very overwhelmed, and she's not all that familiar with technology. And, it took her a very long time to write the letter that she did write, asking for help. And I offered to set up a website for her, free Blogspot website, 'cause, it was easy. It literally took me 20 minutes to do that. It took me 20 minutes to set up the PayPal account total, everything. And we were up and running by Tuesday morning. And that's when I hit the Facebook airwaves and the Twitter airwaves. And I asked all of my community on my personal page, on my blog page, on my Twitter page, I said, please help us spread the word. Because that's the most important part people need to realize with this, is if you can't donate, that's fine. We understand times are tough. Sometimes, that $2, that's going to be, baby food for your kid. That's totally okay. But you know what? Click that share button. Send a prayer. It's just, there's so many other ways that you can do this. And so I blitzed the Facebook community, and I asked everyone to do the same. And the outpouring of support was absolutely phenomenal. And I wish I could give you the amount that has been raised, but because of the nature of the attack, Kathy has asked that I not disclose how much has been raised. But it is absolutely astonishing to me how people have come together. And not just money, but people have offered services. People have offered massage therapy services. People have offered exercise equipment. People have offered athletic clothing. And, he's an alumni of the University of Dayton, and that community is such a tight-knit community. I couldn't even believe how many people said, I don't know Danny, but, here, I'll do what I can to help. And the social media outreach for this was absolutely astounding. And I still, it's trickled down, but we'll just say that I have 450 thank you cards that I'm going to send for the family. That's a lot of thank you cards.
The power of community or online community is overwhelming, actually.
You had a good tip, too. If you can't afford to donate, then just share it on your social media page. That's really important.
That is because, the internet, there are billions and trillions of people in this world. And, we saw comments and donations from Australia, from Sweden, from, wow, I think, China, people that were just moved by his story. And, it's just one of those things that's actually inspired me in one of my next business ventures. So,
good for you.
It's something that I was just truly overwhelmed by the sheer outpouring of love and support.
Well, let's share this again on it's on Twins Happen, twins-happen.com, mm-hmm. And there's a button that says I donated to help Danny. You can too.
It's on the right sidebar behind Kathy's head.
It's sorry.
It's this orange one here, so you can go there and it'll take you. There's the O'Keefe Family Blogspot website, and we'll have this link tomorrow on the Ovaleye.tv page as well.
Share. Yes. We'll be sharing this with everybody.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
That's so amazing of you to use your reach and network.
Your voice. Yes, that's very nice.
And that's what I feel I was meant to do from the very beginning. It's finally all coming together. It's just to bring people together, So everyone knows that they're not alone in their endeavors. Everyone has someone out there that may not be going through the exact same thing they're going through, but they can relate in some way, shape, or form. And that's the absolute power of the internet and social media, is that you are not alone. No matter how alone you might feel in your funniness and your craziness and your sadness and your desperation, you're never alone, because there's always someone out there with you.
What's funny too is that you say all that. I would have loved that when I had little kids too, back in the early 90s. I never had that. I always wanted it. So I love that my daughter gets that, and all of you too, because it's important.
Yeah,
it's good for the soul.
Great.
It is.
Well, we love your blog posts. They're heartwarming. They're hilarious. They're all over
I
the
recommend
board.
you, everybody read it tonight as you go to bed or whatever. You will laugh your head off. It's so much fun.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for being a wonderful guest tonight. You are rocking the online waves here, and I wish you lots of luck, and we'll be watching you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So next week we have on, you want to say who?
This is exciting.
Okay, so say who's next week guest.
Next week we have Kieran Modak. He works for Unsocial, which is a social network. They have an app for smartphones. And Unsocial is a parent company of apptango.com, which creates apps for small businesses. So I can't wait to talk to him about the app building process, because I personally get a lot of people asking,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a big
I want
deal
an app.
right now.
How do we do this? Who do we even call? They don't even know. So.
Actually, one of our members went through Kickstarter and got an app. He's building one now, so I think it will be a growing business.
Yeah, it's exciting, and I was told that Karen is the rock star of interviews, so this should be really fun.
Okay, that'll be fun. I want to thank Abby one more time. She was wonderful. twins-happen.com. You will find her Facebook button and her Twitter button. Please like her on Facebook and follow her on Twitter. I know we do. And we will see you all next week. Thank you for tuning in, and
You can watch these at ovaleye.tv.